Welcome to Monday Morning Jumpstart. This is your place if you're a professional entrepreneur or life leader who's looking for a little jump start to your week. My name is Karen Hilton. I am Chief Vision Caster and founder of TAP Executive Coaching and this amazing place we call Rock Your Vision. Oh, come on in here. I've got a memo for you. You know how it's getting ready to go down, right? You got your coffee, you got your tea. I'm ready for you. Here's the memo. It's Monday. What? Come on. How you doing this morning? If you are new to our community, we are super excited to have you. We have an amazing show for you this morning. I can't wait to introduce our guest to you. But first, I want to introduce one of the best leaders in the world, one of my besties. I'd go anywhere with her any day of the week. Her name is Coach Kim Dudash.
Good morning. It's fabulous. I told you I woke up to snow this morning, so I'm pumped. It's a great way to start the week. So excited. Yes, and excited to be here with you and Klara.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know we've got so much to talk about this morning, but I had it on my heart this morning. You all know that Mondays I wake up super awake. Okay, I know it can be annoying for some, but I wake up so excited to just have a clean slate. I like to say we have a fresh canvas. So whatever it is you have going on this week, I want you to know something. I need you to stay focused. All right. Whatever it is you got going on, you can handle it. And hopefully you're going to hear some things today that will give you some power plays. We call them power plays to just kind of give you that little bit of insight or that perspective or that strategy that'll make a difference in what you're doing, wherever that is. We are super excited to have you. Okay. Before we do anything else, let's pop into the feed because you know our tribe shows up in this space every single Monday morning. So good morning, Christy Kim. What's up, girl? What's going on?
Good morning, Christy.
You know what I love about Christy, Coach Kim? She's coming in from work.
I know. She is always with us on Monday morning. And I love it when I look over on the stream and I see her little sunshine. And yes, she's just a breath of fresh air. So Absolutely. Good morning.
Good morning. And of course, we have the ever-present, ever-amazing Sarah Juliet Fruman, who is our social media marketing guru. What's going on?
Good morning. Sarah's been posting some gorgeous sunrise pictures here lately on her Instagram, I just have to say. So
yes. So Sarah,
love it.
She's skiing, Kim.
Oh, well, I know. I saw that. I mean, she's skiing and then she's got these beautiful, I don't know. Where do you go to ski, Sarah? You have to tell me where you go. But yeah, I've seen that too. I can only imagine me skiing. That would be I'd be in the emergency room somewhere. So
that's right. Well, I'd be in the bed next to you, covered in rhinestones.
That's right.
And fur.
With a cast covered in rhinestones.
That's exactly right. Okay, wait a minute. Y'all get ready. Melissa Hernandez is in the house. Y'all give it up for Melissa. What's going on, girl? Go on. That's good. I'm so excited to see you in here. Let's see. Who else do we have?
Pastor Andy is here. Good morning, Pastor Andy. Yes, he is.
Pastor Andy. Come on, influencers Kennesaw in the house. And for real, Pastor Andy Smith is our community pastor. And this guy brings the noise. I cannot wait to get him back in here. He's got some things on his heart that he's really focused on this morning, really this year. So I cannot wait to get him back in here. But wherever you are, Pastor Andy, we are super excited to have you in here. Thank you for that. So again, if you're new to this community, I just want you to know this is a positive and productive space where we tackle all kinds of things that are really designed to help you do three big things. We want you to get focused. We want you to connect to your purpose. And then we want you to develop the perspective that you need to do life on your own terms. Now, I saw somebody talking about doing life on your own terms. And they had kind of a negative twist on it. It was kind of like, well, you can't do life on your own terms. You got to have these things. You got to have these things. I don't know what it is for you, but here's what I mean when I talk about doing life on your own terms. Whether you're in corporate or whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're, a CEO or COO of your house, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, maybe you're in transition, maybe you're a CEO or you're, a community leader, whatever it is for you. When we talk about doing life on your own terms, what I'm talking about is grabbing hold of the life that you've been given, whatever that means for you. And when I developed that mindset and came up with that phrase, I was in a very difficult season of my life. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I felt like I didn't have any options. So when we say in this community, you have more options than you realize, that's what I'm talking about. Like, even though I was in the throes of it, I was in the midst of it, I felt like I was trapped or stuck, like there was nothing more for me, that my difficult circumstance was all that I had. And guess what? It wasn't. But right. I really needed to develop a fresh perspective. And so that's all that we do in this community. I hope you are in for a great morning. Coach Kim, what's going on? Tell us a little bit about you, and how was your weekend?
Oh, it was fabulous. It was just wonderful. I actually took part in a conference that took most of Saturday. But yeah, I mean, just, enjoyed life on the farm. And I think I've mentioned this to you and probably to the squad, but I've also started up doing some more fitness coaching. I used to do a lot of that, and I've been doing more of it. And so I spent part of the weekend doing that and just enjoying my family. And of course, we did our little What's for Dinner at Dudash Farms last night. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, I like to have fun on my weekends and just, forget about work as much as I can and just refresh and take some time for self-care. So I had a wonderful weekend. It was
amazing.
Great. Yes.
That's so fantastic. Well, we are super glad that you're here. Tell us a little bit about what you do for those that might be watching that are new to the community. I want people to know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Coach Kim Dudash. My company, the name of my company is Dudash Executive Coaching, and I work with leaders and groups of leaders to help them identify what may be holding them back from being the most effective leader they can be, so that they can experience better performance in their business, better performance in their life, or, just so that's what I focus on. So love to work with individuals, love to work with teams. And then of course, we do a little thing on the side called Dudash Farms. We sell grass-fed beef and pork. And so that really has been a focus over the pandemic, but, so now we're trying to figure out how to level everything out and do it all.
Right.
But yeah. And so that's why I love what you're doing here with Rock Your Vision and the community, because we need to stick together. And I know we're going to talk today about partnering, right? And I love this topic because I think that partnering is something that you and I do really well together. So yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's my jam.
I absolutely love it. We are thrilled to have you. And by the way, we are a small but mighty crew. We call ourselves the Squad, and Pastor Andy is a part of that squad. We have Coach Lawrence Henderson, and I just want to do a little timeout right now because Coach Lawrence Henderson, you talk about a guy who is rocking his vision. He's got some great things on the horizon. He's starting a new venture today. And so wherever you are, Coach Lawrence, we salute you, buddy. We are super excited for you, right, Coach Kim?
Yes, we are. Just so excited. And I know that he's going to knock it out of the ballpark. Yeah, can't wait to hear all about how successful he is in this, because he's fantastic.
Absolutely. So we also have Coach Jeff Bull, who hails from the beautiful state of California. And we are so excited because he's got some great things on the horizon too. So we're going to be hearing from him later in the year. And then we have a very special coach. I'd like to call him Coach Emeritus. We have Coach Philip Williams, who's in the stream this morning. What's going on, Coach Phil? You know, he had me this guy, true story, he is funnier than, like, he could go on the road with this. This guy is super funny. He's got a lot of great things going on. And this is going to be a year you're going to be hearing more from him. Coach Phil, I'm just putting you on notice. So anyway, oh, wait a second, you guys, we have Kimberly Spencer in here.
Yes.
Yay! We are super excited to have this absolute boss. This woman is killing it this year. She's getting ready to publish a book. She launched a conference. She launched a new product line. This is the place, I'm telling you, if you are that person who just feels like, you know what, there's still something on the other side of where I am now. And this is not at all about, it's not limited to just those who want to start a business. And in fact, our topic today is absolutely going to be something that you can use, whether you're starting a business or whether you're in corporate or getting ready to be in corporate, whatever that is. This is going to be a topic for you. And I want you to listen in because we've got some things to say with our very special guest. I want to introduce to you one of the newest members of our team. She is a strategist. She's a project manager. She's a tech guru. She has made my life something that I can actually like wake up to and feel like some amount of sanity. I want to introduce you to none other than Klara Cu. Hey, Klara.
Hi, good morning. Happy Monday. I feel jump started already. So
Good.
Well, we are so excited to have you today. And so I'm going to read our topic because it's a mouthful, but I wanted to really kind of capture what we're going to be talking about. This is the day, y'all, to write down these power plays that we're going to be talking about today. Whether or not you're starting a business, I mean, I think it really has great applicability if you're somebody who's an entrepreneur. Maybe you have already started a business. You're thinking about expanding or growing or figuring out, like, what do I do? You're trying to do all the things. Klara is an expert in this. She's a part of our team, and you're going to see why we love her so much. But here's our topic: entrepreneurial vision. So y'all know that all quarter, January, February, and March, we're going to be focused on vision, all right? And we start there because it's the one thing that as humans, our brains can actually get a hold of, you know, trying to focus on purpose, trying to focus on mission and calling and all those other things can feel a little bit like, you know, a little far off. But vision is the one thing that we can immediately lock into to be able to kind of highlight and focus on all those other things. So we start with vision. So we're talking about entrepreneurial vision, partners, and partnership. This is a two-part series, and today we're talking about partners, all right? Partners. Next week, we're talking about partnerships. I got so much going on, I don't even know what to talk about, but today we're going to be talking about...
That's a good problem to have.
I know, right? We're going to be talking about partners, and Klara is an amazing partner. So Klara, introduce yourself to this amazing community. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I am going to owe my bio to you because I've been tweaking it ever since I spoke to you. So good morning again, everyone. I'm Klara, and I'm a digital empire builder that is helping course creators and coaches really streamline their content strategy, simplify that pesky tech side that can be overwhelming, and really help others scale their online programs to launch with less stress. And I want to shout out Coach Karen, because for a very long time, I had a hard time sort of summing up, like, you know, when you have multiple passions and what you do kind of runs a gamut, like a range, sometimes it's so hard to really, how do you consolidate that into a, you know, position that you feel really encompasses all that you do? So Karen really helped me with that very recently. But, you know, some of the things that I really have a heart space for is, you know, serving an older demographic of people, because I am very much driven by my mom. My mom is the reason I got inspired to, you know, forge my own path in my own business. And, you know, she was someone who, when she was raising me and my sister, she stayed at home. She gave up a career. And then once we were all grown up, it was sort of like, oh, it's, you know, now it's my time, but what do I do? And for anyone feeling that way and having that sense of feeling like behind, or is it too late to start what you want to do? I'm here for you, like whether it's something big or small. It's really just getting you to that next level of success, so you don't have to, settle for something just because you don't think you're able to do it on your own. And this is such a great topic with partnering, because that really helps. Like having at least one person in your corner makes such a huge difference.
It does. It does. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Klara. I want to get into more of that story about your mom. But I actually found Klara because many of you know, I run 2 businesses. I'm also a wife. I'm also a mom. I'm also a homeowner. I'm also a member of a community of faith. I've got all of these different things going on. And here's what I know. You got a lot going on too, right? So maybe you're in the corporate space. Maybe you're a corporate leader or a team leader, or maybe you're somebody who is part of a fast-moving team, a fast-growing team. Whatever it is, you got a lot going on. And here's the thing. Here's what I hear and I see over and over and over again. Right? If you are somebody who's trying to do all the things, and you're trying to grow, you're trying to scale, or maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. Okay, I'm talking to somebody this morning, right? Like, how am I going to do all the things? One of the things that I see over and over and over again is that we stay on the struggle bus. This is the struggle bus, okay? Just like, yep, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to catch this, and I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to keep doing that, right? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Y'all need to talk to me in the feed this morning. I'm not playing this year, I'm telling you, because today we are going to break down some power plays that are going to get you out of the struggle bus mode. I want you to shift your perspective and recognize that you don't have to do it alone. You, in fact, have more options than you realize. Okay, so let's also mention the fact, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all know that my business is named after my mom, and her name was Klara. Okay, I'm just saying. We can get into that later, but we're going to get right into it. Klara, so you are a digital empire builder. Sarah Fruman, I need you to pop that hashtag in the comments, digital empire builder. Okay, that's just deep. That's just deep and good. How did you come to that, Klara?
So, not gonna lie, when I first started working with Karen, she had this amazing phrase where she said digital dream designer. And I just absolutely loved it, because it was more than, like, there's a lot packed into that one phrase, right? And I had actually gotten the domain to start an educational site called Conquer the Digital Empire, because yeah, and I had gotten that last year, and for some reason it didn't connect that I should be using that. I mean, I bought the domain, right?
Right.
And the reason I like that word empire, so it's kind of like a funny story. So my last name is Cu. And you know the phrase like, oh, like the coup, like in battle, like you're kind of like overthrowing, you're taking over. And so I want everyone to feel like with their business that they're taking over. So hence the conquer part.
Oh, I love it.
I'm like,
I love that. That's awesome.
And also because sometimes people didn't know how to pronounce my last name. So I'm like, oh, Cu, like conquering. And then the digital empire part is because we all have our mini empires, no matter how big or small our audience is. We're carving out our space in the online world, and to own it and feel proud. It's not just a business, but it's more than just a business to you. Like, it's your baby, it's your kingdom that you're trying to carve out online. So I love the empire part specifically.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a moment, because one of the things that we learned and many of us have experienced coming out of 2020 is having to master, or at least having to forge into the digital or online space, whether you wanted to or not. And true story, your girl right here, like, did everything possible to avoid, being online. Like, I did a website when I first went into private practice because I had to, like, it's like, oh, okay, fine. Everybody wants to know where I am. Fine. So I did a website. But then as I grew Rock Your Vision, which initially didn't have a website when we started 7 years ago, I began to realize that people were looking for, when you are making an impact, or if you expect to make an impact, it's like saying, Well, I'm not going to use the wheel. I'm not going to use a wheel. I'm good. Right. Because I've got 2 feet and that's all I need. Right. Hello, Kodak. You know, Kodak, for those of you who don't know the story, look up Kodak. They did not quite get it. Right, Coach Kim? They did not get it. And so sometimes you have to move.
That's right.
With the times. You have to adapt. Right. So for those of you that are out there that are like, well, I'm not really in the online space, this doesn't apply to me.
You better get on it.
You better get on it. You better get on it. And listen, not from the perspective of, feeling panicked, right? Because Coach Kim and I are very, very in tune with making sure that your steps are ordered, that you're doing what it is you're called to do, not just doing anything.
Exactly.
But it's really about embracing the opportunity that's in front of you. And there's a lot to unpack in that. And part of that discomfort for me was just good old-fashioned imposter syndrome, right? It's not that I couldn't be in front of a camera. I've been in front of a camera almost all of my life. It's not that I couldn't speak. I've been speaking almost all of my life. But it was a new area that I wasn't comfortable with. I didn't really want to learn all the things, all the technology. I'm like, I don't want to do all this, pushing buttons and doing all like that. I don't know anything about that. But anyway, so Klara and I met each other because I began, especially in 2020, doing a lot more virtual workshops, virtual speaking engagements, right? We were transitioning Rock Your Vision to the digital space. And Sarah, who's our social media marketing person, our social media marketing manager, let me get it right. She says it's crazy how much you and Rock Your Vision transform despite everything in 2020, right? Proof that we have options. Absolutely. Yes. So I would say, Klara, #options guru. You are that person that helped me realize that I did not have to stay on the struggle bus. I did not have to sit in front of, my computer. In fact, I've got a monitor and a computer, and many of you do as well. I did not have to sit there and feel a sense of panic. Right. I could actually focus on my superpowers. But I want to go back to something that you said, Klara, about this idea of being in the digital space. A lot of us in this community are new to, or we're still getting our sea legs, right, on trying to figure out all the things. I know Pastor Andy, when we first went to the online environment, he and I had lots of conversations about, oh my gosh, like all the tech, right? So talk to us a little bit about, who is that digital online person that you see? Are they like light years ahead? Are they early stage? Are they just trying to figure out what a computer is? Who's that person that you typically work with?
I would say it's more in the beginning and middle stages. So, like I said, I have a heart for the people who are really just getting started, because a lot of times when you're early and your confidence is shaky, as far as you might not be new to business, but like you said, maybe you're new to a certain aspect, like pivoting online. That newness, when you feel really fragile, one or two things set you back, and it can just feel like a disaster often, right? And really, if you just find the right person to communicate or sort of guide you through that initial stages, that's where I've really excelled, because I actually had a background in user experience design and helping people realize it's not the program that, it's not your fault that you don't understand how to do something. A lot of times people put a lot of fault on their own, saying, oh, I'm dumb. I can't believe I don't know how to do this. Everyone probably can ace it, and I can't figure out this simple thing. And you start to sort of talk down to yourself in the beginning. When no, it's like sometimes, honestly, it's the programs themselves that might not be as intuitive. So like tech tutorials, like one example, it's like, you know what? Someone just didn't let you know that you could go here and do this thing or do it in this sequence, and it'll be much easier. And then the other level of people that I am working with are those that have reached a particular ceiling with a level of success that they've reached. I've worked a lot of scrappy entrepreneurs who have achieved so much just on their own, but now they finally reach the cap where they're like, okay, if I'm going to elevate to that next level, I do need to bring at least one or two people on. And I found myself often in that space where I'm either their first or second person they've ever worked with. And then we've been able to just overcome to the next level. And that's been amazing.
I
Yeah.
love that. I
I
love
love
that.
what Pastor Andy says. He says today's partner relationship is yesterday's mentorship program. It's about us growing together and not about, it's not a one-way street, right? It's not about me helping you. It is a mutual exchange. And I absolutely love that because for me, I was that person. Now, I have had a tremendous amount of success. I've learned a lot of hard lessons along the way. And 2020, I mean, took me to task, y'all. I'm serious. We can talk about that another day. But as I began realizing that I was just completely outside of my comfort zone, there are things that I had that are my superpowers. There are things that you have. Everybody in here, Coach Kyla Charlemagne, who is one of our community coaches, is in here. She says, "That's powerful, Klara. Thank you for sharing your gift and expertise." Absolutely.
Thank you.
So for some of you, you're trying to do all the things, right? You started a business, maybe you have a side hustle, or maybe you're that corporate person who's in there and you're trying to prove your point, right? You're trying to prove or earn your way or say, no, I deserve to be here. I just want to set you free for just a moment that, admitting to yourself, acknowledging that you need help.
Yes.
You need somebody else's perspective and maybe somebody else's energy, right? To help lift you to where you want to be. I mean, I just think that's a whole word. Coach Kim, what do you think about that?
Oh, I love what you do, Klara. So, I said at the beginning when Karen asked me what I did over the weekend, one of the things that I did was I was a part of a conference learning the very things that you're talking about. There's this thing, even though I have been working more in the digital space over 2020, there's still this insecurity that I think that, I don't know about we all, but I think a lot of us have this insecurity. And what I found was, I actually have more going on in favor, of success than I thought I did. So that's probably something else you bring to the table, is to help people see that, no, you really do know more than you think you know, but so you look around and you see all these people that look so successful online, and really they're not a whole lot different than me or you, Karen, or anyone else in our community. So if you're out there in the RYV community and you're saying, I can't do that, you actually have more going on than you think you do. It's really not as complicated as we make it out to be. And I love what you said, Klara. There's so many applications out there for us to use, but maybe it's, just not communicated really well how to use it. And someone like Klara can come along and help just clarify all that. And, when you have someone, Klara's personality is so calming and so inclusive. And I can just see, partnering with her would be such a comfort, because, she's just bringing you along and bringing you up to that level. But you're right, Karen. I mean, we need each other.
Yeah.
And I work with leaders who they may be very successful, but they have a hang up here in asking for help or letting people see their vulnerability. And we have to learn how to let that go and realize that there is so much talent around us. We were never designed to do it on our own. You can't build a business by yourself. You've got to use the talent or not use, but partner with the talent around you and let everybody do what they're best at, right? That's really what leadership is all about. It's bringing all of that wonderful talent together and partnering together to make something grand. And so, yeah, Klara, I love what you do. I'm getting excited just hearing about it. Love it.
I know. I absolutely love that you said that. And you said there are like so many things I wanted to write down, but I want to just give a testimonial for how Klara works. And we're focusing on Klara, but for all of you out there, really the point is that when you let go of the fear of whatever you have, maybe you're afraid of, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm big enough. Or maybe you think I can't afford it. You can't afford to not have a partner if in fact what you want to do is more of what you want to do or you want to grow. You can't afford it. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Or maybe you're so afraid of letting go of the reins you're holding it close to the vest and only you can do it. I'm telling you, there is absolutely no way that I would have been able to get to where I am without our community coaches, without our mentors, the people who pour into this community and advise us, without Coach Marguerite Presley Davis, who's our financial strategist. I never would have gotten here had I just kept everything close to the vest. And that was my tendency because I was afraid. I was afraid of a lot of things. And let me just tell you, I work with some of the best leaders in the world. That is not an exaggeration. Okay, these are people who are killing it right now, who are responsible for $1 million budgets and or $1 billion budgets. That's with a B. You cannot grow in your capacity to do anything if you're holding things close to the vest. That's a word for somebody. I'm just saying.
And Karen, I would say that that's one of the biggest challenges that I work with my clients on. It's that, they may be super successful, but they're holding themselves back from that next level because they cannot, they're afraid to let it go. Well, what if it fails? That, I've got to have my finger in every pie, because if I don't, then it's not going to, it's not going to work. It's going to, and that's so not true. I mean, that's a lie that we tell ourselves, right? I mean, we've got to be able to let that go. So
we really
actually, I'm curious for you both. Do you find that sometimes the fear is greater in those who have already tasted a lot of success than there is those first starting out? Because those who have already tasted success, is there more trepidation to shift into the unknown? Because I've been rocking this. It's hard to be vulnerable to now admit that in order to reach the next level, I don't know how to do this.
I do see a good deal of that, Klara, but I think there's the fear of starting out because you're thinking, but then I do think that leaders get to a certain point, a lot of them, where they've tasted success. And you're right, all that I've done this far has made me successful, but they don't recognize that they really have to. They can't, what got them here won't get them to the next level, right? So they have to let things go. They have to actually have a different, like Karen was talking about, they have to have a different mindset. So, but then I think once leaders learn that, I think the sky's the limit, really, for a lot of them, but, and we reach levels where we sort of feel stuck. And so I don't know. What do you think, Karen? Do you think?
It's a really great question. And while I'm thinking of it, before I answer the question, I want to encourage our community, make sure you share this, start a watch party, notify your network. We want people to know about this topic and we want them to lean into the conversation because this is part of the way that we learn as a community, sharing our experiences. And then the second thing I would say is drop a note in drop a question in the comments. We would love for you to take advantage of having Klara's expertise here. So maybe you're somebody who's starting a business, or maybe you had a traditional, kind of brick and mortar, and you've had to transition, and maybe you've got questions. This is a great opportunity to do it, y'all. Don't miss this. We create the space just for you. We're going to talk a little bit more about the specific things that Klara does so you can understand how someone like her might be able to help you. But what I've actually find is that it's equal. Like I thought, like I had I've been in business 7 years. Like, I'm like, okay, I got this. I'm good. Right. And then the 2020 hit, and I felt like and Kim and I've had this conversation. I felt like I was starting all over again. I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt like I was starting all over again. Like, oh my God, I can't do this again. Like I did that, been there, had the belt buckle and the t-shirt. And I just felt like I was starting all over again because I felt like I was outside of my comfort zone. But here's the thing about fear. Pastor Andy says this all the time, right? Fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
Right? I was like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should just go back and, go work at, some retail shop or whatever. But so many of you have amazing ideas. You have calling, things that are drawing you to do a certain thing, or you have a passion, you have energy around a specific thing that you really need to bring into the world. Coach Lawrence Henderson talks about this all the time, that when you hold your gift, when you don't show up in the world, you're robbing somebody, you're cheating somebody, and you very well may be being disobedient. If you're a Jesus girl like me and Coach Kim are, you've got things to do. So I think it's equal. I think the people that have been in business a long time and have been doing it, doing their thing, I think they are just as likely, this is just my experience, I think they are just as likely to be afraid and hesitant to let go or to welcome somebody into the fold as the person who's brand new and maybe they're still trying to get their sea legs. I'm just saying that's my experience. Don't know. Let's see. Let's see here. We've got all kinds of things. Okay, Pastor Andy says digital is a different arena of communication. There's a language and an etiquette to learn. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a flow to learning how to show up in the digital space. And Coach Kim will tell you this, she's gonna laugh. When I first started doing getting on Facebook and doing lives and starting a YouTube channel, I would be like this. I would talk to everybody and say, good morning, and how are you? And y'all know that is not me. Okay.
I think in the beginning when people go live, they forget that they can actually move their hands. Yeah. And they just go like this.
It's just so different.
Well, and the thing about it is that, when you're sitting in front of your computer and you have this camera thing going on, it's not a real person, right? But I think it's like, do I have lipstick on my teeth, or can people see my insecurity? There's all kinds of things going on. Coach Philip Williams says, LOL, I get it. I just found the card reader to pay groceries in Publix. Oh my gosh, Coach Phil, you are a hot mess. Anyway, let's see who else is in here. Coach Pastor Andy says most of us are too uncomfortable or too intimidated to unlearn,
yes,
and relearn. Now that right there,
that's exactly right. I mean, we get too comfortable or we're too intimidated to unlearn and relearn. And I guess that's really what I was getting at, Pastor Andy, because you've gotten yourself in a groove and things that have worked out this far. But if we're not learning and growing, we're going to go backwards, right? I mean, we really have to be willing to unlearn and relearn.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Okay, y'all. We have Sarah Steele in here. I am so excited for you guys to meet Sarah Steele. Sarah, you should be getting a call from somebody on my team pretty soon, so I need you to get ready. Sarah is a fine arts artist. She's a watercolor artist. She is world famous. Y'all don't sleep. Y'all need to know who she is. But anyway,
yes, and she has lots of superpowers that she needs to be given to the world.
Superpowers, but she says, "I feel like I've been doing everything but my superpower," and that, sister, is a word, because that describes how I felt. Getting these workshops together, trying to design the contract, trying to write the content. Coach Kim knows what I'm talking about. Trying to do all the different things. And then, oh, by the way, I have to set up Zoom. I have to figure out how to add a breakout room. Oh, wait a minute. Is this connected? Are my lights on? Like, I was like having major anxiety attacks because I was doing everything but my superpower. Sarah, I think we're all right there with you.
And then you really can't. I mean, I think I understand what Sarah's saying. You get so caught up in all of these little details that really we could be getting someone like Klara to help us with. And then when it comes right down to it, you're there in front and ready to do, and you're like, I can't even remember what my topic was. I mean, it's just so much stuff. So I know I wrote this, but I can't remember what we're talking about because I'm worried about Zoom, or I'm worried about my breakout room, or I'm worried about, answering people on my feed. And I mean, it's just,
So I'm going to give a quick example. I think I started to do this earlier and my ADD kicked in. But Klara, right after I give this example, I want you to answer the question of what are the types, like the actual types of things that you help people like me do from a partnering perspective. So Sarah has her own business. She has her own set of clients. But I hire her on a project by project basis to do certain things. So I'm going to give you an example. And then Klara, I would love for you to just kind of share, kind of what you do, the specific types of ways you can help people. So for me, I was on a huge workshop. We had people from all over the world, okay, for one of my corporate clients that is, we were doing a workshop based in New York, but there were people all over the world. So I think we had 45 or so, Klara, people on, and I'm here trying to remember my content. It's kind of a new project for me, so I want to do really well. I looked fabulous, by the way, but anyway, but everything else was a little bit of a hot mess, I felt like. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like sweating and trying to figure out how to get my Zoom to work. Klara is in the background. She's participating, but she's guiding the conversation. So she functions in a role as a producer, and her job is to manage the tech. So I can focus on what I'm talking about, right? So it was our first time having done this workshop, and guess what? My sound goes out. I don't mean like, they could barely hear me. I mean nothing. And I'm the keynote. So Sarah leans in and she says, Karen, if you can hear me, here's what you're going to do. She literally walked me through. Now, mind you, I'm like, checking for my pulse. She walked me through in this huge environment and fixed it like that. And here's the point. Here's why I said I will never do another large workshop like that and not have Klara on my team. Here's why I said that. Because in that moment, I realized I've been doing this by myself all this time, and I did not have to do it by myself. Hello. But I felt smarter. I felt like I could completely focus. I felt like she was an extension of me. And true story, when you have an amazing partner, that's what it feels like. And some of you who have great partners, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a corporate, a corporate guru, you're somebody who works for an organization, whether you're a ministry leader, whoever you are, that when you have a good partner, you can focus in your superpower. Can I get an amen? That's good, right? So Klara, give us an example of the kinds of things that you help people with, in addition to being a producer.
Thank you for that amazing shout out. So, and it's so true that when you're doing everything, you don't have any brain power left to have to think quickly on your feet. Like, I'm able to think quickly, say, oh, Karen, this is just what you need to do. But in that moment, and I've seen this when I've helped with other webinars, is because you have so many things like delivering the content and engaging, there's not much brain power left when something unexpected arises. And then at least it's great to have that second person think on your feet for you and just guide you in that moment. Other things other than like the tech producing space, I talked a little bit before that other times it's not so much creating the content that's the problem, it's delivering it out there. So for example, for course creators, one big thing is like course tech setup. So if you're a course creator and you're like, well, I have all my stuff, I've got it recorded, but now I actually have to get it into some platform and connect all the pieces so people can actually go buy and view my stuff. You don't have to do that by yourself. You can get someone like myself to set it up for you on your platform. Other things that might trip people up or just they don't have time for it is email marketing. So setting up those email sequences so that when someone does this, if they press buy, they're suddenly going to get, 5 emails that will actually onboard them. So it's the tech piece that it's so important, but because there's so many little things, that feels like such a big burden a lot of times for business owners to have to take on top of coming up with the amazing content and delivering it. So yeah, that's why in the tech space, I really love falling into that because like that's a large gap for some folks. And it's not that you can't learn how to do the tech, but is that really what you want to do?
I love that. Sarah says, Sarah Steele says, a place I get caught is I'm trying to learn so many new things. Okay, Sarah, you were bringing the heat this morning. This is so good. She says, I'm trying to learn so many new things. I feel like I'm not catching on. I watch everyone around me sprinting and it gets dispiriting. And let me just tell you that this was me all day long. And here's the thing that broke through that. I asked for help. I know it's hard to ask for help. And sometimes you don't even know what you need help with. But there are some clues, Klara. We've got Sarahs and Claras here today. There are some clues that can help you identify if you need to ask for help. And I'm curious, Klara, what are some of the clues for, and we can talk about entrepreneurs for sure, but just in general, like even in your own experience, right? Your personal experience, like you were kind of, you alluded to it earlier, you were holding on to kind of trying to figure out how to articulate your multi-passionate expertise. And then we were just having a conversation. You were like, hold on a second, maybe Karen can help. So what are some of the clues that you think that people exhibit that are signals, if you will, to say, maybe you should be partnering?
So in terms of fit, I always go back to what is your comfort level with that person? Because, you know, when you go to, let's say, a party for the first time and there's that moment where you're introducing yourself to different people, there are some people you just click with, as in whatever it is about that person's like aura or spirit, you're actually willing to share more of yourself than you would to someone else who might be perfectly nice as well.
Yeah.
But there is not that sense of ease in sharing of yourself, because if you really are going to get the best help possible, you have to be willing to give something of yourself in return. Whether you're partnering with someone or hiring, there has to be that give and take. And if you feel that for someone, like I felt that with Karen when I first met her, then that's a signal. If there is an ease there where you feel like you can open up, that's a signal that you should be partnering with someone. I feel like chemistry, above so many other factors, is the thing that you're going to look for with partner. Ultimately, do you trust this person? And are you confident in endorsing them to other people because you trust them so much?
I love that. I think that it is so important. It is incredibly critical that you have a connection with somebody. Here's the thing I would add to that. You know, for me, I'm just going to be honest, y'all. This is just between us, okay? I have trust issues. And, you know, for many years, I was like, no. I'm not gonna ask for help because I'm not sure what people are going to do with my content, or I like this just the way it is. And one of the big things, and every coach in this community knows what this is about. For those of you that are, leaders already, you know what this is about. You will only go as far as the partners that you allow to support you. Amen. Right? You will only go as far as the partners that you allow to support you. And for me, it wasn't necessarily that, like I had certain requirements, like they needed to be excellent at this and they needed to be excellent at this. And I had this major list of all the things that they needed to be. But here's the thing. Nobody is good at everything. So part of what you need to do is to identify first what you need. Power play number one for learning how to partner is to identify what you need. If you had a great partner, what would you need, right? So you say, well, Karen, I don't really know what I need. Here's a caveat to that. Y'all write this down. This is good. Identify what excites you and what exhausts you. Slow clap. Identify what excites you and what exhausts you, right? What exhausts you, the tech exhausts me. I will never completely love the tech, but Klara does love the tech. Bingo! marriage made in heaven. And she is excellent at what she does. She's professional. She knows her craft, right? This isn't just something she's figuring out as she's going along. But, you know, sometimes, particularly as a woman of faith, and there are people, this is not a dig at people of faith, so don't y'all come for me because I'm not here for that. But sometimes I hear people say, well, I can only work with somebody who is a Christian, or I can, you know, pick your poison. That's completely up to you. But for me, I had to determine what my non-negotiables were. Power play number 2, determine what your non-negotiables are. Whatever those are is fine. I wanted to be in an environment where I could be fully who I am. And there are people that I've worked with over the past 7 years who are like, yeah, this whole, you know, Christian thing, like you talk about Jesus too much. And I'm like, it's been real because, you know, I welcome, I'm a very inclusive person, but it's important for me that I'm allowed to be 100% who I am. So when you think about kind of what are some of the things for you? So for those of you that are business owners and you're out there, or maybe you're that person. I want to mention Christy Kent for just a moment. Christy Kent is one of our Reclaim alums. She's an ambassador. She is everything. She's my sister. She says, I struggle with having such a large workload that it's hard to focus and be present for the things that are really important to me, my vision. Klara, can you speak to that for just a moment? Because I'm sure there are other people that feel very similarly to Christy.
I saw that earlier, and I completely both recognize and in my own experience feel the same way for certain things. I actually wanted to go back a bit to your first power play. I love how you divided it, what exhausts you versus what excites you. And I feel like a very tangible exercise that someone can do is literally set aside 30 minutes and write down what are those daily repetitive tasks that require low mental effort, because often those daily repetitive tasks are the things that feel exhausting.
Say that one more time, Klara. Say that one more time.
That often it's the daily repetitive low mental effort tasks that are exhausting, accumulated over time. When you go to write your list of things, of things that you're doing every day, rank them from easiest to hardest. And when I say easy, like I said, easy is something that at this point you would know how to do with your sleep, and it's very quick to just show someone else to do it, and then they can pick it up and do it in their sleep. Because to what Christy is saying, sometimes I don't know where to focus on first. If you were to make a list, what is the thing at the top of the list that is so easy that you can offload to someone else? That is the first thing you should find a partner for. It doesn't have to be all these tasks offloaded at once. It could just be those first 1 or 2 things on that list that you make. And that's how you could start easing yourself into trusting one person, into taking it on. And, you know, ideally that experience is good. And then you sort of feel more confident that you're able to shift other things on that are exhausting you to another person.
Yeah, I love that. So one of the things that we're going to be doing for our community members, we're going to do a mini masterclass on exactly this topic. This is going to be a hands-on, practical group coaching exercise that we go through to help you get that. We're going to be talking about one thing, and that is helping you get focused around the areas that excite you and exhaust you. So if that's something that y'all are interested in, I need you to drop a note in the comments so we'll know who to send an invitation to. Coach Klara Charlemagne says partnerships are key. Coach Tamiko Drummond, who is one of our community coaches, she is an amazing branding expert. She said she produced my first career lemonade workshop, and I could focus on my strengths by leveraging hers. I'm gonna use that. That's good. Somebody put that in quotes. Coach Klara Charlemagne just dropped the noise right there. She said she could focus on her strengths by leveraging the strengths of someone else. That is absolutely the case. And for those of you that don't know, Sarah Juliet Freeman, who is a marketing whiz, I have really leveraged her strengths in the area of social media marketing so I could focus on other things. That is her passion. She's a strategist, to be clear, And that was just incredibly exciting to be able to hand some of that off, to get somebody else's eyes on it. Let's see. Coach Phil says, I used to trash talk to my computer until I get help. My goodness. Phil, I am not even messing with you this morning. You're on a roll. Melissa says, chemistry and trust are very important in partners. And let me just say this. I have worked with partners before that I just did not, we couldn't get it. We couldn't get it going. Having a partner that you trust and someone that you have chemistry with is very, very important, right? Y'all, we have Shay Houston in here, who is one of our alums. She's an ambassador. She is also founder of Shay Renee Macarons. Y'all know that's my drug of choice. Anyway, she says, I trust y'all, which helps me reach out within this community. Absolutely. We facilitate that. We do things like this Monday Morning Jumpstart. So y'all will have some options, right? Now you have an option in Klara Cu. Klara, okay, so you talked about producing, helping people who are in the online space in a virtual type of environment manage the technology, or equipping them to manage the technology if they want to do that. What are some of the other things that you do for entrepreneurs and leaders who are trying to figure out how to do all the things?
I split it into two camps. Do you want my help support on something task-based or strategy-based? So
Okay.
task-based was things like the tech producer, course tech setup, things where I'm knocking out a series of tasks or items for you. Mm-hmm. But the other area where I've really enjoyed is the strategy sessions. So I've done half and full day sessions for people who want strategy with things like refining their onboarding processes, actually getting them organized. I've met entrepreneurs where it's their first time using a project management tool like an Asana or Trello or ClickUp. And that's actually one of the first ceilings that people hit when they realize that they don't want to just work on their own. They want to work with a team. They're like, oh my gosh, how can I possibly organize or communicate to another person? Yeah. So I've done strategy days. I'm like, okay, well, let's take a step back, figuring out all the stuff that you're doing right now. And how do we translate that into a system that you can quickly onboard a new person onto your team to do? So the strategy days are really fun because when you see how organized you can be, it feels like it unlocks so many more doors for you because suddenly you're able to let people in more easily. Instead of it all being up here in your head, it's actually all out either on paper or in a system that other people can follow. And I love helping people with that aspect of their business as well.
I love it. I love the fact that you've kind of put it into two buckets, because that alone is helpful. And I know that sets some of y'all free. I want to remind you, drop a question in the comments. If you have a question about how to do something, maybe you've been wondering, how do I actually do this? But you've been a little afraid to ask. We got Klara here for you. So she would love to answer your questions. Coach John Kowaleski, who is seriously killing it right now. He is getting ready to launch. I think it's today. He's launching his health and wellness program. I think it's today. I'm pretty sure. Coach John, I'm going to need you to drop your registration link in the comments so we know how to support you. But he says, knowing the tech is always a bonus. And Coach John is one of the most amazing, multi-passionate individuals I've ever met. Like, I'm obsessed with everything he's doing. And he is also a tech expert. He has saved my skin on more than a few occasions. I'm just saying. But he says, however, it's super important to be open to working with others if the job isn't what excites you. So he's given me an amen. And that is absolutely right. Okay, I'm going to pop in here real quick into the comments and say, all right, Melissa's interested in the workshop. Okay, Klara, we've got some interest brewing here about this workshop. So that's going to be amazing. Sarah Freeman says, amen. Part of why I love working with Karen, hashtag love you too, girl, is that we trust each other and have a lot of similar passions and we get each other. That's absolutely right. Now, I'm just going to tell y'all, it is a special thing to work with me. Not everybody can do it. Okay. You have to have like a lot of patience But Sarah, when I started working with Sarah, what I loved about her was her ability to be flexible, right? I am not a person who walks in a straight line. If I see some rhinestones or a puppy or, somebody on a walker, I'm completely distracted from what I need to be doing. And Sarah is so good at just kind of bringing me back. And Klara is great at doing that too. So I couldn't agree more. Okay, we've got some things, but I know, Klara, that you've got a few things that you want to share with our community, and I want to give you an opportunity to share with the three types of partners that every successful entrepreneur needs. Can you unpack that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. So when you think about finding maybe this is one of your first partners that you're trying to figure out what to do, you can think of partnerships in three different types.
Mm-hmm.
The first type is, do you want to partner with someone who has access to a similar target audience as yourself? So I consider me joining Karen on Monday Morning Jumpstart an example of this type of partnership because we both wanted to serve very similar folks.
Mm-hmm.
We had that amazing conversation last week, Karen, of how especially the older demographic is where we have a special place in our heart, because a lot of times those are people who need that extra level of focus. For people who are older, it might be the first time in their lives where they finally had a chance and time to step back and realize, what do I want to do?
Right.
So, and I knew that there were people in your community who needed some of the services that I was providing. So I found you a great partner in that sense. And then a second partnership type is partners who have access to resources or skills you currently don't have. And
that's great.
These could be resources in terms of, do they have access to a location, maybe other software or teams of people that you don't want to necessarily have the time or cost of paying or developing for yourself. So one example of that is I wanted to host a video planning workshop and I was driving through Missouri. And rather than me having to rent an event space, I had a client who lived in Missouri who was like, oh, I'm good friends with someone who owns a co-working space. Let's put something together. So we put together a proposal saying, hey, can we partner with you, use your event space? In return, we'll tag you. I'll take brand photos to highlight your wonderful space on social media. And we were able to get that space. So who else is out there that has a resource that you could potentially leverage for something in return? And then the third type of partnership would be, can you partner with someone who demonstrates the success of your service or offer? So think of past clients or students who do two things. One, they are social proof that whatever your method is works because they're your success story. And two, they'll do essentially the marketing for you. So think of things like affiliate partnerships, where I can tell you, as someone who's worked on virtual summits, and if you're thinking of doing a summit, a very common practice is speakers can be unpaid, but there's an incentive for the speaker to earn an affiliate commission if they, help promote the summit to their audience. So look in your business, is there someone who has loved what you've done and could be, a second in command in terms of helping marketing your work out there? That's a very powerful partnership to have as well.
We're getting ready to do kind of our next big project is working on a virtual summit. And so, think about it, you guys, when you say to yourself, I don't know how to do that. I've never done a virtual summit. I don't know how to, set up a course, or I don't know how to develop content. It's fine. You don't know. The point here is that there are other people that know. So one of the things I want to tackle real quickly is, what about that person who says, I can't afford it? Talk to us a little bit about that, Klara.
I have an easy response to that, which is, if you think of the ideal hourly rate that you have for yourself to be profitable in a year, and take that hourly rate and multiply it for how long it's taking you to do those daily repetitive tasks that I talked about earlier.
Come on.
And you calculate in a week, how much are you wasting by having to do those tasks yourself? That money that you spent on those daily tasks, you could have used towards someone else to help you. And then you could have focused on expanding and growing your business to bring more income in. That's how you should think of it.
Mic drop. I hope y'all caught that. That was deep. So basically, Klara is saying that for those of you that are at the point of expansion or growth, you're starting to feel those growing pains. And we need to go back to that because I don't think we finished that list. But you're stuck in that. Here's the thing: you're costing yourself money by staying stuck. I was working on a graphic the other day. 4 hours later, y'all think I'm kidding. I was trying to get the placement just right and trying to figure out why the colors weren't working, right? So it cost me 4 hours times my hourly rate, and I'm not cheap. I'm not cheap. So I was costing myself. I was like, this is not working. There's somebody else who could do this in a fourth of the time. I could get my hours back, right? And create something that is in my superpower. So y'all are costing yourself some money here. And here's been my experience, that it is absolutely true that you want to be profitable. I love what you said, Klara, about taking your hourly rate and multiplying it times the number of hours that you're spent stuck doing something that isn't your superpower. That's real. But I also want you to consider that you are exhausting yourself by being on that struggle bus doing that thing. And that exhaustion also has an opportunity cost, right? You are losing something else. So what is it that you're not doing because you're stuck on doing this other thing? And here's a temptation. You're going to get stuck doing the things that you don't want to do because it's a comfort zone. Yes, you can stay stuck in doing stuff that exhausts you because it's all you've ever known. If you are going to operate at a bigger level, if you are going to do the things that you want to do and get some room to breathe, you're going to have to let that go. Here's power play number 3. Power play number 1 was identify what you need. Power play number 2 was make a list and identify what exhausts you and what excites you. Power play number 3 is clarifying, once you've identified what you've exhausted or what exhausts you, clarify what it would look like if you handed it off to someone else. And Sarah Juliet Fruman will tell you this firsthand. I had the hardest time because I had not taken the 30 minutes or so to just jot down what I really wanted to do. So when she and I first started working together, I'm telling my business, I was like, okay, I want you to do this. And I want you to do that. And I want you to do, oh, wait. There's this other thing over here I want you to do. And here's what happens. You will end up frustrating your partners. Coach Kim, I'm preaching right now. You will end up frustrating your partners because you haven't taken the time to clarify how you want them to help you. And that may be an iterative process, right? You might say, okay, I don't need somebody for 40 hours a week. Fine. None of my team yet is 40 hours, but I did have to do the work after some very painful experiences. I did have to do the work of saying, okay, hold on a second. I need somebody to help me with social media because I'm not, like, true story, I'm really not on social media all that much. I know it seems like I am. But I needed to clarify, okay, Sarah, here's how it would be great for you to help me, right? When you do that, then you can hand it off and you can hold people accountable. You can have a conversation and adjust your expectations. But if you're all over the place, child, I'm telling you, it's going to be a minute before you start to get clear. Okay, I'm just going to go in here and make sure that we've got things tidied up as we get ready to end. Oh, I did want to mention real quickly, Coach John Kowaleski. Y'all, we've been talking about health and wellness. We talked about it last year. Coach John Kowaleski is our health and wellness coach. Y'all go to reversalroadmap.com and check out his newest offering. I am so excited about this. I may be on there myself because I need to be tightening some things up. I'm just saying. But anyway, so
hey, Karen,
reversalroadmap.com. Yes.
Could I chime in a little bit on the last part you were saying?
Yeah.
A question I see come up a lot when people are first starting to build out a team of partners or virtual assistants is they ask, should I be trying to find one person who can do all these things that I don't want to do? Or is it better that I hire multiple people?
Oh my gosh.
And I wanted to chime in a little bit on that. Sometimes when you first put a posting out there listing all the things that you need help with, whether it's social media, design, tech, etc., there are the unicorns. I'm not going to say there's no unicorns out there, but you would be better served actually finding partners for a very specific set of tasks. Because just like you as the visionary have your own pockets of genius, so do the people you partner with.
Wow.
And the other way you could think about it is instead of putting all your eggs in one basket on one other person. So for example, let's say you hired one person to do all the things, email, social, marketing, all that stuff. If that one person has to leave for whatever reason, you're right back at square zero where now it's just you. But if you had outsourced it to, let's say, one person to handle email, one person to handle social, and one person to handle the tech side, if one person leaves, you're all right. You still got two other people who could maybe pick up the slack, or you're just having to fill that specific skill set instead of trying to find another unicorn.
Oh my gosh. You just said a whole word. Okay. I hope you were hanging on till this part, because that right there, we could do a whole show on what you just said. And I am living proof. Because when I started, remember I told you all I had trust issues? Don't tell anybody. That's just between us, okay? But I just work with one person because I'm like, okay, I finally got this one person, and that's the only person I need. But if they go on vacation, if they get sick, if they, strike it rich and go off, whatever, there you are. When I was trying to build the course, Reclaim Your Why, which is getting ready to relaunch, more details to come, I hired somebody who was a specialist in the platform I was using. I did not know her. She was referred to me. So we finally got ready, and Sarah Julie Freeman was there for this. We finally got ready to launch the course, and guess what? Crickets. She disappeared. And I did not know the tech at all because I said, I'm not going to touch the tech. I don't want anything to know about the tech. No. And when she disappeared, we literally had to start all over again. And when you talk about growing pains, Klara, you just said an absolute word. I hope y'all wrote that down. I'm just going to pop in here real quickly. But Coach Kim, any questions for Klara before we get ready to wrap it up?
Now, what I thought, when Clara's talking about the unicorn, I think another thing that we do is we wait around for that unicorn to walk into our lives, right? So you keep yourself from moving forward also because you're waiting for this perfect person. So Klara, I agree with Karen. That was such a great word because find someone who is a rock star in this one particular thing. Like Karen found Sarah, right? And that's her rock star. And she's found you're a rock star in another arena. So you don't have to wait for that unicorn because like Klara said, in most cases, that person doesn't exist. And then you're stuck like Karen found herself in the situation where she had to start all over from scratch. So I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And I think the thing that I'll add to that is just because you find if you find that unicorn, I have often referred to myself as a unicorn. I've had other people say, Karen, you're a little bit of a unicorn because you're good at a lot of different things. And I do believe in unicorns, by the way. But anyway, the point here is that even unicorns have limitations, right? Even unicorns have limitations. So
absolutely,
if you get in a situation where you hire somebody and they seem really good at one thing, and maybe you pull them in to do a bunch of other things, and then you start to have issues, it's okay to take a step back and to simply clarify what they're good in. There's a book that was written that's called You Can't Fire Everybody. Right. One of the things that we know, again, whether or not you're an entrepreneur or whether or not you're, a corporate leader, you in fact can't fire everybody. But it's important to take responsibility for your role in knowing what you need. And if things go awry, that's okay. But here's what I would say, and I say this all the time to my leaders in corporate: you need to address that thing quickly. Right. Yeah. And so often, Coach Kim knows this. So often leaders will be like, yeah, well, I really like them, or they've been here a long time, or, I don't want to hurt their feelings or whatever. Listen to me. You are limiting them.
That's exactly right.
Yourself, you are limiting them.
That's right.
Because you're not having that honest conversation. I just had a coaching call with somebody who is like the number 3, smartest person in the luxury automobile industry. Amazing leader. Somebody that I'm coaching on a regular basis. He's kept someone a very long time, and the person isn't performing. Okay, wait for it. He's not performing. And he's been there a really long time, like 13 or 14 years, and he's not been performing for 13 or 14 years. Come on. Okay, so now they're trying to address it. And we finally got a strategy to have that courageous conversation. And guess what he said? He said, I've been trying to figure out how to get out of this.
That's hilarious. That happens more often than
right?
It does. I hear that more often.
Anyway, that is just...
Or I wondered how long it was going to take you to have this conversation.
I just was trying to hold on. Anyway, we've got Coach Miko Drummond in here, Coach Kim, and she says, Coach Kyla Charlemagne, thank you for the shout out. Always a pleasure partnering with you. Hashtag iron sharpens iron. I absolutely love this. It is absolutely true. Coach Tomiko Drummond is also a producer. And I love the fact that we have a community that has, we've got multiples. Like this is not, if you're looking for a competitive environment, this is not the community for you. Exactly. Because we are always featuring our community members who are active and engaged, because that's what it's about. Right, Coach Kim?
That's right. Well, we were talking about this earlier. I mean, there's someone out there that is going to be the perfect partner for you. And it might be, there are perfect partners out there for me, perfect partners out there for Karen. And in this space, we have multiple people who do very similar things. You're going to be able to find someone that, like Klara said, someone that you connect with, someone that you feel confident about. And just, like she said, you walk into a room and there's someone there that you think, oh yeah, that, everybody's nice, but this is my person. And so that's really what we are in Rock Your Vision. We are, we're just all here together. It's not competitive at all. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I absolutely love it. We've got somebody new in here from Balloon Artistry. I have no idea who this is. Well, I actually have a little bit of a idea, but whoever you are, we are super excited.
Absolutely. Welcome.
I'm going to leave you with one last power play, and then we're going to make a little bit of an exit. I'm just going to give some shout outs, but here's your next power play. Write it down. When somebody asks you the question of how can I help you or how can I support you, have an answer. I'm just going to give myself a slow play. Okay. When somebody asks you, hey, how can I help you? How can I support you? Have an answer. That means you're going to have to take a step back and do some work around this. I just think I figured out my next challenge, y'all. Y'all know I love challenges and they're always free. I'm just going to do this. Figure out what the answer to that is. Klara, what would you say about that?
It makes such a big difference in you building the trust with that person, because raise your hand if you've gotten those bulk mass email and messages saying, I can help you with this, this, and this. And none of what they're offering is specifically tailored to what you actually need. When you actually have a custom answer for someone who's like, hey, I need help, that shows that you took the time to actually learn about their business, who that business person is, and that you actually have a best fit in your mind. You're not just trying to go after the sale or whatever. And, it says a lot about the person that they took the time to know you to figure out the best way to help you.
Yeah, I think that you could not have a better partner and someone to just help you kind of clarify what it is you want to be, what it is that excites you and exhausts you. That is one of the things that Klara does. So whether you need strategy help, you just need somebody to help you kind of figure it out and clarify. And yes, we have lots of coaches in this community that do that. I do that. But Klara is one of my partners for helping me figure that out when it comes to course creation and being a digital dream designer. She is my go-to person when I say, okay, Klara, here's what I'm thinking. And then she will help me bucket it out so that I can then go focus on the other things. And the things that I don't know how to do, she then helps me kind of think through, okay, here's some of the people that you might want to consider looking into. Oh my gosh. Like for those of you that are stretching and trying to do it all on your own and trying to get it out of your head, you don't have to do that. Let me say one last word for those of you that are feeling like, you know what, I can't afford to hire a Klara, or I can't afford to hire a Coach Kim. Let me just speak to you for a minute. When I first started in private practice, there were all kinds of things I could not afford to do. I started first by engaging and supporting other leaders and volunteering my time. This is a volunteer-driven community in many ways. We try to do some give backs, right, to make it worth people's while. But don't be afraid once you do that, list of here are the things that excite me and here are the things that exhaust me. Don't be afraid to say, okay, here's what exhausts me. I'm going to go and just offer my services to Klara and say, Klara, would you mind having a conversation for me? Now, you need to be clear about that because Klara's got a business to run. I do too, and Coach Kim does, and every other coach. But the idea is that especially in this community, I encourage you guys to connect with each other. There are all kinds of opportunities to do business together and that sort of thing, which is why I'm always saying, who do you know needs this community? This is an incredibly unique space to do that. So don't be afraid to reach out and to say, hey, I would love to help you in this way. Here's what I need. Is that something that you'd be willing to partner on, or whatever the case may be? So get out of your head, get out of that, mode of I can't do this or I don't have this. Get out of that. You've got options. Sometimes all you need is an amazing community and a cup of coffee to help you figure it out. I'm just saying.
Well, you have not because you ask not, right? Right.
I absolutely love that. Okay, let's see. We're going to wrap it up. Coach John says, I found my partner for this late program by having her on my podcast as a guest. Yes, sometimes the help you need is right in front of you. Okay. Shay Houston says, I was asked that. Okay, so Coach Shay was asked, how can I help or how can I support you? And she was afraid to answer, so go figure. I will answer this week. Shay, you know where to find us. Absolutely. Sarah is going to, there's a storm going on, so she's going to be popping out. But listen, y'all, we have had an amazing session with Klara Cu. Y'all give it up, Klara. Come on, drop some love in the comments. This has been
Thanks for having me.
It was great information, Klara. You came prepared. It was awesome.
I know. Okay, let's see. I just want to make sure that Klara, you real quickly, 3 ways solopreneurs, meaning people who are trying to do it on their own, right, can transition to building a team, even if they're first timers or have a limited budget. Do you want to just share those real quickly?
Yes, I'll share them real quickly. The first one you already touched on, which is partner and bartering. A lot of times, if you are active in a Facebook group, such as like Karen's community, there often will be like collab threads. So specific posts where people are looking for someone to help them, and in return, you can offer something in return. So that's often a great place to start. Another one is the part-time aspect. So when you're first building up, perhaps you have a small budget this time. What's a small bank of hours, let's say 2 to 3 hours per week, that you feel comfortable paying for additional help for? Think about reaching out to perhaps college students or someone new to the particular industry you need help on, because often those folks are hungry for experience. And since they're new, they're often charging lower rates. So take that into consideration. And if you're someone that's trying to look on, of course, there's gig worker websites out there like Upwork or Fiverr or freelancer.com. If you're just, wanting to test out different folks, generally those in non-US can be less expensive. A lot of times when you're trying to like gauge who to pick, rates are often affected by, of course, the standard of living of where that particular person is. Now, just keep in mind that if you choose to work with someone overseas, make sure that they're going to be able to communicate with you in your time zone and that they can still respond to you in a timely manner. But yeah, partnering or bartering, having someone work part-time and potentially looking for someone overseas, those are 3 ways you can get started building out a team.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I am a huge fan of Upwork and Fiverr. I have hired people both stateside and people overseas. In fact, the woman who does my videos, most of my videos, not all of them, but most of my videos, lives in Nigeria. True story. Like, I'm just going to set you all free, okay? But one of the things I would add to that is not only make sure that they can work in your time zone, meaning that they're not requiring you to be up at 3 a.m., right? There are plenty of people out there. Yes, you kind of need to, maybe we'll do a show just about hiring in that capacity. And I may see if I can bring on my attorney, the amazing Amy Stewart, who's based out of Dallas, Texas, who can help us navigate some of that, but also make sure that you understand what the rules are for hiring a contractor in the country or the place that you are, because there are realities to that, but it doesn't need to bind you. Okay. There are all sorts of things that you can be free about. You do not have to get stuck in. I want you, Claire, real quickly to let people know where they can get your freebie. You've got a resource for our community. Is that right?
Yes, I will be transparent. I did not have a time to get it up into the online space where it's easy to download, but if people want to message me or email me, I will happily deliver that to them in a manual manner just to make it work.
Awesome. Where can people find you?
So my website is my name, which is www.klaracu.com. You can go ahead and click the contact button there and you can say, hey, I heard you on Monday Morning Jumpstart. I love that freebie. It's really tailored towards when you're interviewing a new partner or VA to hire for the first time. What are the things that you should be specifying so you make sure you get that perfect fit for your business?
Wow, I absolutely love that.
And if instead of email, if you're an Instagram person, I love Instagram. You could also find me at theklaracu.com. The is there because someone has Klara Cu, and I'm like, oh, so I had to put the. Yeah, someone has it, and it's a private account. And I'm like, oh man, so I'm the Klara Cu on Instagram.
Okay, and just to be clear,
we knew you were the Klara Cu anyway.
That's right. And to be clear, you are Klara with a K, Klara, right?
Yes, and then CU for my last name. Yes.
Awesome. Wow, you guys, we have really laid it out. You've got some solid power plays. If you've been thinking about taking on a partner, or maybe you haven't, but now you're mildly curious, Klara Cu is an amazing partner for you. She is the digital empire builder. All right. I want y'all to hashtag that everywhere on IG, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you got. I want you to hashtag it and let people know about Klara. She's an amazing part of this community now, and you're going to be seeing more from her. And then, of course, we are always interested in knowing where we can find Coach Kim Dudash. Coach Kim, remind us one more time where people can find you.
Oh, I'd love to connect with you on social media at God, I was about to say at Klara Cu. You can't find me there. I will be at Coach Kim Dudash. So you can find me there. And that's pretty much in any space. And my email is kim@dudashexecutivecoaching.com. So I'd love to connect. So yeah.
Incredible. Well, thanks everybody for another amazing Monday Morning Jumpstart. I hope you've gotten a little bit of a jumpstart to your week. I want you to remember something. You have options. Yes. Whatever it is that's going on in your life, I hope that you will join us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us on Facebook at Rock Your Vision Community. You can find us on Instagram at Rock Your Vision. And then, of course, you can find us on YouTube. Just search for Rock Your Vision and you'll find us. If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you for taking the time to watch. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click the bell to make sure you get notifications. So every time we go live, you'll be in the fold. All right, everybody, I'm going to finish my coffee. Ladies, hold on 1 second. I'll talk to you soon, everybody. Have a great week.